Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne and we talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I did 2 videos today, really amazing. And there's one uploaded to hit to go live at midnight tonight. And there's this live stream. Oh, hopefully you don't get sick of having too much of me around. So I hope you're doing well today. Hello, Cal. How are you? So I've got an open, I haven't really decided what we want to talk about, but hey, I do need to warn you, I do need to do some Katie Joy talk because I did do a video about her and she got called out again and then she's deflected. And I want to talk about that as well. So, and maybe look at a couple of her little clips, but that's about, that's about all I had to do was just a continuation of that. But, I don't really want to speak about her all night. I'm going to hold her off for as long as I can. We'll have the intelligent conversations first. So I hope everybody is doing well. It was a beautiful day today. The sun was shining and I was stuck inside doing all my university stuff and all my readings today. I'm all prepared for Monday's class, which is about murder. So, yeah. Price of car tires went up today because of it. Is that true? Is that a joke? I'm hoping that's a joke because I think it's funny because of inflation. Well, everything's going up. Russia's getting the blame for everything going up. Petrol. I mean, I remember going across the Nullarbor and paying $2 a litre and thinking it was, it was really high, and now that's what, we've got. Hello, Albertan. Oh, no, not for university. Monday, we don't get public holidays at university. No, we've got classes. And we've had an email to remind us that we've got classes on Monday. So, yeah, no public holiday. She sees that as attention, positive or negative. Gas is expensive. $12.11 a litre. Wow, yeah. It's disgusting. It is, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about just catching public transport. So I also want to talk about a senator in the Australian Parliament. She passed away on Thursday. We lost actually 3 people in a. They say it happens in 3. We lost 2 sportsmen and an Australian senator in a space of days. All of a heart attack, believe it or not. One was 74 and 2 were 52. But for them all to have passed to have the same thing is very, very interesting. And one was a politician, 2 were sports people. Yeah, very, very interesting. Price of nuclear weapons just went up too. That is not a joke. I noticed that the postie, or it rides an electric bike. Yeah, Alberta says, yeah, no way. So we'll start with this one. So this is her name was Kimberly. Yes, thanks, Bella. Trigger warning. Let me just put my trigger warning up. There we go. I've got prepared ones. So Kimberly Kitchen, she's mourned across political divide. So apparently there was some questions whether she was going to get re-elected within the party. Re-elected within the party. to sit again. So Labor Senator Kimberley Kitchen has been under immense stress due to a bitter factional brawl they plan to create within the Victorian branch of the Labor Party, and her political mentor, Bill Shorten, is questioning whether he could have contributed to her sudden passing. An emotional Mr. Shorten led tributes to the 52-year-old on Friday after she died of a suspected heart attack in Melbourne late Thursday afternoon. Mr. Shorten was a close friend of Senator Kitchen and her husband, Andrew, and had been called to the suburb where her body lay. She was in the next suburb when she passed. So my wife, Chloe, who's a close friend of her, knew her from school, just immediately drove over. We sat with a couple of other dear friends of Kimberley and Andrew on the side of the road as we waited for the undertaker's van to turn up. She was facing a pre-selection challenge ahead of the looming federal election, with members of the Victorian Labor Party right faction refusing to endorse her. Endorse her spot on the party's Senate ticket as recently as Tuesday. Pre-selection is never easy. Mr. Shorten also said, "I'm not a coroner. I can't tell you why this woman of 52 was taken from us, but I have no doubt that the stress of politics and the machinations in the back room had its toll." Mr. Shorten, who had endorsed Senator Kitchen to replace former Senator Stephen Conroy, who quit politics a couple of months after the 2016 election. You can never dial forward and predict back what's going to happen, Mr. Shorten said, but you do wonder if she had been better off never going in near politics, but you don't know. So all you can do is think about the good things. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese was questioned whether he believed the pre-selection dispute affected her. Politics is a difficult business. There are pressures on people in politics. That is part of what we do. But I certainly think this was totally unexpected, he told the ABC. No one could have anticipated this. And people were ringing each other, I think, multiple times to get confirmation because it was such a shock. She looked fit. She'd gotten fitter in recent times, and there was no history of a heart condition, which is why it's a tremendous shock for the entire Labor family today. Mr. Albanese described Senator Kitchen as a vivacious character. Tributes came across both sides of the political divide, with senior members of the coalition praising her contribution to the Senate. "I'd consider Kimberley a friend," National Senate leader Bridget McKenzie said. She was an intelligent, irreverent woman and senator, a fierce patriot for our country, and former Victorian Labor MP and Kitchen ally Michael Danby paid tribute to Senator Kitchen's contribution during her time in Parliament. Senator Kitchen ought to have been a future Australian Foreign or Defence Minister, but in the 6 years in the Senate, she already had a national and international reputation. James Patterson said, "Deeply shocked and saddened at the tragic and ultimate death of my friend Kimberley Kitchen. She was a warrior for her cause, a friend of freedom, a true patriot who had enormous impact in her short time in the Senate, a huge loss to Parliament." A Defence Minister, Peter Dutton, said he was very close with Senator Kitchen and had planned to catch up with her while on holiday in Queensland over summer. "She was a real hawk on national security matters, and I think Parliament will miss her," he told Channel 9. "I think our country's poorer for her passing." Senator Kitchen's work in foreign affairs, her advocacy for the Australian Magnitsky Act have garnered widespread praise in light of her passing. So yeah, that's, another one. So as I said, Shane Warne, the Australian cricketer, he passed at the age of 52. And so now she's passed. So Terry C says, our vice president embarrassed US in Poland. She was asked how she felt about the refugees, and she laughed and said, "A friend in need is a friend indeed." When my jaw dropped, I started trying. And Alberta says, "I think the stress of the last 2 years and now what's going on in Europe, I'm not surprised that many are having heart attacks." It's interesting that our advocate friend is talking about human trafficking of a dance troupe. Okay. Yet there are actually real fears happening for the women and children in Ukraine. Yet apparently this this topic doesn't make any money, so we can't talk about it, right? As millions of women and children flee across UK borders in face of Russian aggression, concerns are growing over how to protect the most vulnerable refugees from becoming victims of human traffickers or other forms of exploitation. The UN Refugee Advocacy Agency says that more than 2.5 million people, including more than 1 million children, have already fled war-torn Ukraine in what has become an unprecedented humanitarian crisis in Europe, and its fastest exodus since World War II. Oh, thank you, Bella. Very, very kind of you. In countries throughout Europe, including the border nations of Romania, Poland, Hungary, Moldova, and Slovakia, private citizens and volunteers have been greeting and offering help to those whose lives have been torn by war. From free shelter to free transport to work opportunities and other forms of assistance, help isn't far away, but neither are the risks. Police in Wrocław, Poland said on Tuesday they detained a 49-year-old suspect on R charges after he allegedly assaulted a 19-year-old Ukrainian refugee he lured with offers of help over the internet. He could face 12 years in prison for the brutal crime. Police in Berlin warned women and children in a post on social media in Russian and Ukrainian against accepting offers of overnight stays and urged them to report anything suspicious. At Romania-Syriac border, after a 5-day car journey from the bombed historical city of Chernihiv, 44-year-old Irania Propenko waited inside a tent with her 2 children sheltering from the cold. She said a friend in Berlin who's looking for accommodation for her has warned her to be aware of possibly nefarious offers. There are many very dangerous propositions whose husbands and parents stayed in Ukraine. She told me I have to communicate only with official people. A number of officials and non-government organizations have been raising the alarm about the increased risks of human trafficking. The risk for those things to happen is very high. Security officials in Romania and Poland said plainclothes intelligence officers were on the lookout for criminal events. In the Romanian border town of Siret, authorities said men offering free rides to women have been sent away. So the Siret border police are working closely with the country's National Agency Against Human Trafficking and other law enforcement. Advice to women was being given at the border by police, he said, including making sure they kept their phone batteries charged and that they write down number plates of cars they get into. The migration data portal notes that humanitarian crises, such as those associated with armed conflicts, can exacerbate pre-existing trafficking trends and give rise to new ones. And that traffickers can thrive on the inability of families and communities to protect themselves and their children. So what I'm saying is we've got real possibilities of human trafficking happen, but we want to focus on a dance troupe. So in Poland this morning we found 3 men who were trying to get a bunch of women into a van. So one of the former legionnaires, a South African who only gave his first name. I can't 100% say they were trying to recruit them for sex trafficking, but when we started talking to them and approached them, they got very nervous and left. We just want to try and get the women and kids to safety. The risk is very high because there are so many people, you don't know who is doing what. At the train station in the Hungarian border, Zarina arrived with her childhood friend fleeing a war zone. She said had left them little time to consider other potential dangers. When you compare, we just choose what will be less dangerous. So she hopes to make it to Slovenia's capital with her friend. When you leave in a hurry, you don't think about other things. So there was also a woman, a Ukrainian woman who gave, in all of this disaster, here is a woman who gave birth after surviving a Russian airstrike. And there she is in her hospital bed with her baby. She fled the remains of the Mariupol maternity hospital shelled by Russian forces as given birth to a daughter. So on the eve of giving birth, she had to flee the hospital in a Russian airstrike hit. But on Friday, the newborn was photographed killed against her mother. The assault on the Black Sea port city, which had been surrounded by Russian forces and cut off from deliveries of food and medicine, had prompted warnings of a humanitarian catastrophe. Russian troops have not let our aid into the city and continue to torture our people. So on Wednesday, with her brow and cheek bloodied, she clutched her belongings in a plastic bag as she navigated down the debris-strewn stairs of the children's and women's hospital in her polka dot pajamas. There she is, fleeing. Images of desperate mothers and medical workers from the hospital shocked the world as the bombing took place. Taken to another hospital, that she and another woman who had escaped the bomb had since given birth, and their babies were delivered to the sound of shell fire. A strike hit the new site where they were taken to as well. So, how would you be in labour having to flee where you are giving birth because you're getting bombed to go to another place that's also getting bombed? It's something that I could not think about. It's something that I it just horrifies me. So your trigger warning, big trigger warning. Wow. So this is the hospital they're evacuating. So they're evacuating people from the hospital. Wow, look at that. That is horrifying. So, hello, short order book. We're just looking at the woman that gave birth around in a hospital. She had to be evacuated because the hospital got bombed, and then the new hospital got bombed, but she's successfully given birth, and the baby's healthy, thankfully. And as I said, that the fear is now that there's going to be human trafficking. This is real human trafficking, not the Katie Joy version of human trafficking. That's the hospital. Oh. That was the hospital. How horrifying would that be? Oh, look. That's the mother and father as she's just given birth. But how horrifying would be. And in fact, it's the Children's Hospital. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bella. Again, I just went on public record calling this World War III. Look at that big hole there. And it was colossal damage at the Children's Hospital. I'm sorry. Leave the children out of it. I get really mad when children are brought into this. I bring up your sticker, Bella, but I can't. It just will just come up with this. So thank you. Very, very generous. Thank you, Bella. So, but for me, this is, human trafficking and stuff we've really got to be careful of. So, no one has the. Biden needs to pick up his marbles. So, well, everyone's still sitting and watching, aren't they? Everyone's still staying away. No one's really going to help Ukraine. As I said, not unless the one of the neighboring countries is touched, will anyone get involved, which is really quite sad. But I really don't have, I've got really nothing. I had nothing planned. I just wanted to come on and chat to everybody because I've missed you all. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. Unfortunately, our government's too busy trying to keep their jobs. Oh, cool! You should see how good Stella looks with her. Really? Wow. Princess Jackson, so same here. I just, you sort of feel helpless with the Ukraine situation. I know that a lot of Russians are actually speaking out against it, which is really, really good. And again, Putin states he's a man of faith, and you have to. It's really interesting because you shouldn't judge somebody's faith, but there's also certain behaviors that that tell people that their faith. And our prime minister will tell you he's a man of faith, but I would argue that he doesn't live it, if you know what I mean. Her grandma said if she didn't know her sister, she would have told me to get her DNA tested. She got, wow. Can we come up with a topical game we can do on your live? Yeah, that's all right. I mean, it's open. I mean, I'm happy to post the link if you want to come on and chat. I'm happy to do any of that. But I do need to address Katie Joy later, so don't let me go without addressing Katie Joy because she got called out again, and then she's gone and deflected. So. Yep. So let me just. Hello, Laura. How are you? So that's the link if you want to come on and have a chat. Otherwise, I'd come on. No, not KJ. What is KJ pulled now? No, well, later. I'm going to do it later. We're going to just... Well, I called her out for her Bible lessons because apparently, according to the gospel, according to KJ, Jesus hated Pharisees and tax collectors and liars and thieves. And I pointed out that his disciples were quite a bit of those. You don't have to have your camera on at all. But yeah, it was that. But who was it? I want you to, but I'm scared. That's okay. You don't have to. Miranda called her out big time, and she called her people cult-like followers. And she's told Katie Joy to stop making drama for her channel. She's called her out for using her for clicks and views. So yeah, it was definitely very interesting. So yeah. So what's going on around the world? What are all the other? But isn't everyone? Apparently, we're all in a cult and we're all their haters. So if Peter was around, I know that she truly has no clue anyway about cults or dancing or makeup, point blank. If Peter was on, I know that there's something that she wanted that we actually had a chat about in person, discussing. But I hadn't typed Peter up. So if Peter's on later, I can have a chat with her. So we're probably we're going to hear all the issues that there's a few issues that we can talk about that don't get talked about because they're not money making. You can't get money out of them. Oh, there you go. Hello, Bella.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you.
Can I please just put out a message out?
Yeah.
A positive one?
Go for it.
With all this conflict online, between the Hoggets and all the women, it needs to stop somehow. It needs to stop. If it pushes too fast, somebody can really get hurt, even if they got mental health.
Yeah, as I said, I've been watching. I'm very much aware of what's going on with a lot of the stuff that's happening, and but I've stayed out of it and I've kept out of it because I get myself in enough trouble.
No, all I'm gonna say is if anybody is hiding in the bushes, because I keep your the how many viewers are watching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the comments as well. I know there is people hiding in the bushes.
There probably are people, and that's fine.
No, but this is why I'm wanting to send out this message.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
That needs to stop before somebody does really get hurt.
Yeah.
And you're doing a really wonderful job with your channel.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
I shared it like usual. And I'm hopefully that you we can all work as a team to get more viewers to come and watch.
Yeah, yes, I know. Because I know that I was regular, but life gets in the way sometimes.
Good luck with your law school.
Yeah, I'm doing murder on Monday. That's going to be interesting. Found out something interesting though in Victoria under self-defense. If you plead self-defense, it's up to the prosecution to prove that it wasn't self-defense. there's a test that has to be followed, and if you meet those tests, like if you can meet the requirements, you can plead self-defense, and then the prosecution actually has to prove it's not. Isn't that interesting?
Due to the accents, sorry. Okay, there's this debacle going on about at the moment, and with other creators online. I'm not going to get into the whole story if Joe wants to go in it. There's been bullying and stuff online and people giving out other people's information. It's gone too far and too toxic. Things need to stop before they get too far. They are getting out of control at the moment.
So there's just some things happening between creators, and sides are being taken. I've also made the decision that anybody from either side is welcome in here. Everybody's welcome in here. I don't care who you are, as long as you're respectful, and I'm fine with that. But yes, I do know what's going on. I keep my ear to the ground. But I haven't commented, other than what I will say is that the doxing doxing's not on, bullying's not on, and I don't like any of it. But that's all I'll say on the matter. So I'm not talking about even who the creators are, because you'll know who they are.
That's why I'm not saying any names.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But, and I mean, if you're on Twitter, you'll see it all on Twitter. I'm a teeny tiny creator, and I'm keeping out of my yeah. Well, that's sort of my stuff, Alberta. Hello, Mama Duke. That's why Osbel did that thumbnail that said my lane, because I want to stay in my lane. If I get dragged in, I'll deal with it. But if I'm not, because I do know that, there is. I don't know about all the bullying. I watch but I'm a Duke. That's fine.
Thank you, Alberta. I'm Italian. That's where the background comes from.
Ah, yes.
Yes, so I thought I'd just quickly pop up here.
Cool. It's
just
nice
to give that. It's becoming too toxic. I'm there to give my voice, and I'm there to stand ground because of the nature of it. But I'm not a bad person. They actually dragged me into it in the beginning, which I'm not going to even go into it.
Yeah. As I said, I've watched some streams. I actually just was watching another stream between another lot of creators. So there's a few of them going on. You can take your pick. There's a few of them happening. But see, I have a job now where I'm doing repetitive work, so I can have an ear pod in. So often I'm actually now listening to streams. So I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up with what's going on. I can't comment. But we're going to remember that it's YouTube. It's supposed to be a place where you unwind and relax and have fun, hang out with people, watch videos that you like. It's not a place that should become a place of stress. But I think also COVID, people being stuck at home and everything, people just have got too invested in YouTube because we wanted that time killer.
It's true, and that's how I come past your channel. I seen a bullet journal one come up, and then I wrote in bullet journal, and your channel popped up. That's where I started getting to you, and then you had a live stream thinking that it was about bullet journaling, and it wasn't. But you make me laugh all the time. I nearly fall off my chair sometimes. That's why I'm sitting down on my couch tonight.
Oh, really? That's right. I nearly fall off my chair too. Yeah, so, yeah, look, I just try and do a variety of varied topics. I mean, trying to, do a whole lot of stuff. Because I'm a person that, by nature, I guess, I say that I get bored easily, so I always have to be changing things up because I get bored doing the same thing all the time. So I have to just keep everything
Can
going.
I just ask one question
Yep.
about something?
Yep.
With your chats that go on, do
Yep.
you mind if people bring up other topics
Oh, you can
of
you can
what's
discuss
going
whatever you
on?
like. You can discuss.
Yeah, I don't want people to have to not want have to even if Joe agrees, I'm not wanting people to have to hold back their composure or what they want to say and just comment to it. Be free. This is as Joe says, an open channel that anybody can come and anybody can talk about anything. It
You
just
can talk
doesn't
about
have to be
anything,
with
and you don't
you.
even have to agree. You could, as my only thing is, as long as you're respectful, as long as it's respectful,
Yeah,
you can disagree. We can respectfully disagree,
yeah.
and that's fine, and still walk away at the end of the day. I you can talk about. Look, you can totally ignore me. I know sometimes the chat's talking about. I was talking about something the other day, and you're all talking about cooking. So it's and it's fine. That's Joe has one of the best chats, says Princess Jackson. Alberta says that's why I keep coming back. You can talk
Thank
about
you.
anything.
I thought I'd just pop up here
Oh yeah, no, it's
quickly.
great. Thank you.
And yes, I know I've met you in the past in person as well.
Have I?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
That's where I've seen you and I know. And I go, yes, you work for the Salvation Army. I
Uh,
knew as soon as beforehand because you actually told me something, which I'm not going to tell on camera. But if it is behind the scenes, I will tell you. You
okay.
told me a sentence
Mm,
many years ago, and I've
mm.
actually kept to that saying,
Well,
and I want to say thank you so very much
oh well.
because you've made me the person I am today.
Well, there you go. So we've actually crossed paths because I know that Bella actually lives in Melbourne. But when you say you live in Melbourne, Melbourne's a big place.
I live on the other side.
She's
No,
on the
but
other
I've
side.
actually met you in person,
Yeah.
and I was crying, and you said things are going to get better, but we talked a bit more, and you actually gave me the inspiration. I want to say thank you.
Wow.
Many, many years later.
Well, there you go.
And then I seen you another time actually singing.
Wow. Oh wow. There you
So
go.
we haven't crossed the path one time. We've crossed paths 2 or 3 times.
Wow. 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 I don't know. That's a bit scary. I don't know. What? So wow.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just tell you.
Well, there
Thank
you
you
go.
very much.
No, it's my pleasure. It also shows that I'm the same person. I am the same person on screen as I am on here as I am off here.
You're totally loving, caring, and you don't act on YouTube. You know how other content creators make an act up of being somebody they maybe really aren't
Yeah.
in real life. You actually act the same on screen than
Yeah.
off screen.
Yeah, that's who I am. Yeah.
And there's a reason why I don't want to show my face either. But you understand that part when you think back on it.
I'm tr- I'm trying to think. Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will work it out one eventually. Take me a while. Oh, look, Mama Duke says, was it through church? It may have been. It may have been. Look,
Is this private chat between you and me?
nah.
When it says private chat,
Oh yeah, that
uh,
private chat's between you. Yes, that one. Yes, that is private between you and me. No one else will see that. Mama Duke, I think this is a voice chat. Really, Carl. No, it is Bella. It is really Bella. I it, yeah.
okay, you
Oh
understand.
yes. Yeah.
Now, do you understand?
Yep.
Do you remember that conversation?
No, because I've had a few of those. Not.
It was around Christmas time when you were singing.
Oh, really?
I was crying.
Oh, I have now worked it out. I remember now. There you go. Oh, yeah, that's what I do. But the thing is, that's what I'm that person. I'll see somebody crying or needing help, and I'll go help them. So
Yes.
that's what I do. But
That's why I'm wanting to say a big thank you to you too. And I can never repay you for those words that you said many years ago.
wow. Well, thank you. I'm a bit. I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say, one is like touched. Actually, I'm humbled.
You're gonna make me cry.
Oh, am I? Oh no, yeah. Oh, wow. Because you never know the effect you have on people.
You're gonna make me cry.
Mm-hmm.
But those words have stuck through me through all of these years, and you've made me out to be the person that I am today.
Wow. Thank you. That's all I can. That's all I can say is thank you. But, it's touching that sometimes you can catch up with people that you help, and it just goes to show you that you never know, what you can do in someone's life. Just that kind word. I have been told that I'm too caring. I care.
You are, Joe. You are.
I'm
Give
too
many
caring.
people chance after chance, but
So yes,
there's
I've been told I'm too
only
caring. But I don't think I'll change who I am.
you don't need to, but just stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm there in the background looking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll
Right. Well,
drop.
thank you. And
I'll
I'll go.
drop so somebody else can come up,
Yeah.
and we'll be in the chat anyway. See
Okay.
you,
All
Joe.
right. Right. See you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow. 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 Thank you, Bella, for those kind words. You just never know. When people say they've usually met me, it's like, oh, I wonder what story they're going to tell about me. But no, thank you, Bella. That was lovely. Yeah, it's great. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm heavily flawed. I have to tell you that. Heavily flawed. But I try. I try to make a difference. One of the things that I often say to people is that I often treat people better than how people treat me. So I probably go out of my way to be really good to people, because I sometimes find in my own life when I need help, I'm on my own. So I always make sure that I go and I help people. So, but yeah, no, it was wow. So thank you. So what have we got? We got Cal. So how are you going, Cal, at the moment? It's interesting because I did think I it was interesting because I thought when Bella came up, I thought, oh, that voice is familiar. Due to it, your lives and videos. Cool. Well, thank you. I think you pick a you can choose, I think it asks if you want a camera option or not. Oh, you quit your job? Weren't you detailing cars and getting all the money out the glove boxes? And as for all the YouTube drama, I mean, if you want to come up and talk about it, that's fine. But I'm going to be neutral on it. As I said, any topic, you can talk about anything. You were, Cal. Okay. All the coins behind the back seat. I bet you Cal's would have found other stuff behind the back seat too, short order cook. Hello, Vidandra. I'm sure Cal would have lots of stories of what he's found in cars. Oh, it was your aunt. Oh, okay, Cal. Oh. Yes, need to keep it PG. Which is really interesting. So, well, I did hear that the Gabby Petito's, is it Petito? Her parents are suing Brian Laundrie's parents, which is going to be interesting because I would have thought you'd have to have had I don't know how you put a monetary value onto what they've lost. But see, it worked with yeah, I know civil works differently in Australia and the US, but I don't know how it would proceed. I don't know how it would proceed in the current format that it's in. Has anyone seen any of the lawyers talk about it? And when I talk about lawyers, I'm not talking about Katie Joy. Then go to civil court and sue for wrongful death as well as harbouring after fact. Okay, so wrongful death. Okay, maybe go towards getting some laws changed. Yeah. Well, yes, you could be right there too. I mean, hey, I'm not sure. As I said, it's interesting to learn. I'm like, it's really interesting to even learn how the different states have different laws under things. I think they just want some conclusion because he unalived himself. They didn't get a fraction of justice. That's right. There's the Red Cross fundraiser, isn't there? The floods, and there's some big concert on. So can they get criminal charges from a civil case? This is where it's all fascinating. Also, I was doing some. Oh, look, I'm not near the floods. But we do have people that are in the floods up in the area, but I'm not near it. We had sun today. Yeah. Well, according to KJ, the civil case has no merit. I'd just like to say that because she's never seen that flooding. Oh, short order cook. Did you get caught in it? I'm still cleaning up mold and cleaning up gutters. So short order cook, you got stuck in the floods. Yes, I've had uni. I've been back for a week, Vidandra. It's full on. So my units are criminal law, contract law, research and statutory law, and torts. Oh yeah, it'd be great to see Stella. You live on a mountain. No, as I said, we've been pretty good. Okay, all right. This is from Miranda Wilkins. So she's taken this screenshot. This is from KJ's live earlier today. Well,
they made a statement. Yes, they made a statement. I don't know why people keep asking me if the Wilkins family still support our efforts, because I'm on a team and they are still communicating. I don't know. I'm not. Why are people trying to make drama that doesn't exist? I am assuming the ulterior motives were the same thing. Ultimately, what I believe was happening was, right now, our position is to give them space because they're going through so much.
Okay, so Miranda Wilkins clicked on this link, posted that, and says, statement for Miranda Wilkins family meeting update. When we first brought up Katie Joy, they both had no idea who that was. But when we said without a crystal ball, they were both like, oh yeah, that girl. When James and I talked about how delusional and dangerous she is, they still just had a look on their face like they don't know this girl and don't communicate with her at all. My mum admitted that KJ reached out to her via DMs a couple of times, and my mum answered, and that was it. One time, Katie DM'd my mum asking if she knew James's and my address. And my mum said, I will never give out my daughter's address to protect her and all the others' safety. My mum did say she has been following KJ and notices that she posts about our situation constantly. She insisted that she did not hire KJ to harass us, and said, we haven't paid this woman a penny or hired her at all. Every time we brought up Katie Joy, they seem like they have nothing to worry about because they do not talk to her. They were shocked when we said that they partnered up with her. They were shocked when we said that they partnered up with her. They realized it or not. Even just by answering those DMs, they were shocked to hear the damage KJ has caused. I feel like my dad started to see the evil that is Katie Joy, and my wish is for my family to distance themselves from this Katie Joy. Crazy person who is only out for her own interests. Our meeting was intense as we have a lot to work through as a family, but I believe we are on the path to healing one step at a time. Katie Joy, assuming what was said at my family meeting is not fact. Stop creating drama for views and get out of our lives, you creep. So, to that, Katie Joy says, period, deflecting and blaming. Facts. Addresses were not asked to find Miranda. We are simply tying records together to verify property ownership and safety. We have no interest in hurting Miranda. We are investigating the real estate dealings. I will certainly expose the damage Robert Shin has inflicted upon dozens of people. We will warn anyone to get involved. We will warn anyone to get involved with a man. She's written this so poor. She says, we will warn anyone to get involved with a man with a history of questionable behaviour and dealings. What are we looking? What do I know? Sorry, short order quick. I'll have to scroll back. There's any way to send foreigners to help. You mean money? You can donate to the flood appeal. Yeah, I'll find some links for you in a minute. All right, see you, Cal. Well, that's right, Laura. Who's where? She's got a team. So she says, but again, she hasn't proofread what she wrote. She said, we will warn anyone to get involved with a man with a history of questionable behaviour and money dealings. I will stand up against abuse. I haven't damaged anyone. Robert Shin is the person that has harmed you. I'm sorry this is happening. Blaming the messenger and reporting the facts of your leader is not harassing. Abuse in the name of God is not acceptable. We will continue to report about this cult because until Robert Shin is held accountable, more dancers are at risk of becoming victims. So then, you literally told everyone to show their family support by giving them space to heal. How is that assuming what went down at the meeting? Miranda not even making sense. So anyway, that was her response. I mean, look at this. All right, here again is where punctuation matters. Okay. This is where punctuation matters, and I'll show you why punctuation matters. I've got to show you the full picture. Have a look at this. Actually, I actually put Vicks on my feet and wear socks. I do that too. I actually do that. Just a Midwest mama dismantling cults one post at a time. Team without a crystal ball. Now she says, join Team without a crystal ball to end abuse in the name of God, one story at a time. Now, is she saying that she's ending abuse in the name of God, or is she ending the abuse that occurs in the name of God? She's got no comma. And end abuse in the name of God, one story at a time. Joined without a crystal ball and end abuse in the name of God. So is she saying she's working on behalf of God? Can somebody make that make sense? So, and apparently she was criticizing an interview Diane Sawyer did. That is why, apparently that's from her live. All right. And apparently Robert Shin is a really popular name. All right, let's get into this. That's all right. Thanks, Bella. All right. Does she know that she's? Does she know? Does she know that she's on live? Look at this. What was that? What was that? What was that? Can someone please tell me what that was? No, not back at the start. Is she singing?
Hi. So today I spent all day being a mom. I was gonna I've been sitting here like, am I gonna film today? Am I gonna film? Am I gonna film? And now it's like almost 5 o'clock on a Friday, and I'm like, why bother? What week?
Well, thank you, Karen. I've been doing a lot of it still off camera. I've got to do an update on camera still with all of that. Oh, you've got no words, Laura. No, I don't either. Oh dear, hey. I just love the and it's the fakeness.
Am I gonna film? And now it's like almost 5 o'clock on a Friday, and I'm like, why bother?
She's been a mum all day, people.
What a week. So I thought I would hop on over here. I literally just finished putting makeup on. So I'm technically camera ready. Oh, thank you, Hannah.
She's just finished putting makeup on at 5 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and is camera ready. Oh dear.
Thanks, sweetheart. Best mommy. Well, you know. Thank you, Dizway. My sweater is fab. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Someone just said she was the best mummy, and she's covered.
This one eye looks really dark. The other one, it's a shadow. It's the shadow. Okay. You love my videos. Thank you. I know kids are greater than filming. I know. And we're still doing online school. I don't know if anyone else is doing online school still with their kids, but yeah. We are trying. We are doing lots of detective work right now, for sure. It's been a huge undertaking. Let's just say that. So much. Kelly just put out a statement, and she said that the meeting obviously did not go well. James, I guess, reached out and wanted to meet in Michigan, and they said that the conversation didn't go well and they had ulterior motives.
No, we've just read Miranda's statement, which is taken from this. So she has a team now. Team without a crystal ball. I wonder if everybody else working for the cause realizes that they're working for her.
I am assuming the ulterior motives were the same thing that she asked Kelly, or that Miranda asked Melanie to do, which was to take down the video where they spoke about the situation and perhaps try to silence them. I don't know. Ultimately, what I believe was happening was
It sounds like the worst superhero group, says Laura. Well, apparently there's lawyers and there's security, and she's got security, and she's got lawyers, and she's got realtors.
them trying to do damage control. Yes, they made a statement. I don't know why people keep asking me if the Wilkins family still support our efforts, because I'm on a team and they are still communicating. I don't know. I'm not. Why are people trying to make drama that doesn't exist? We keep fighting for the family and send our love to them.
What I want to know is, why is she doing this on Instagram? We know that these videos are bombing on YouTube. So why on earth is she still flogging a dead horse, so to speak? Is my suggestion. You know, why is she flogging a dead horse?
Right now, our position is to give them space because they're going through so much. I'm not going to cry. So, long story short, as a parent, hurt your heart. Yeah, it's been hard, right? Oh, thanks, Hannah. Yeah, so there's going to be a thing on cults, I guess, on 2020. I'm not gonna I don't need to watch it, but if you guys want to watch it,
I don't need to watch it because I know all about cults, but you can watch it.
might help you understand more about cults. For me, I'm gonna just keep focused on this stuff. But if you guys want to watch that, yes, go ahead and watch 2020. Thanks, so many people. So I think the meeting has to do with the pressure.
Oh, are they her toenail clippers or her nail clippers in her hand?
That they're facing related to actually losing sponsorships and the amount of pressure that's been put on in the industry to prevent people from working with these dancers. Hi, Angela.
Oh, are they her eyelash? I don't know what they are.
I don't know what time it's on. It's with Diane Sawyer. I started just watching The Family on Netflix. That's about a political cult that is kind of under the radar. Someone who knows about Robert suggested that I watch that.
Did you see her smile when she said Robert? What?
Prevent people from working with these dancers.
Watch.
Hi, Angela. I don't know what time it's on. It's with Diane Sawyer. I started just watching The Family on Netflix. That's about a political cult that is kind of under the radar. Someone who knows about Robert.
Look at that. Oh, I need to change my caption. Hang on. There we go. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that. Let that sink in for a minute. She's smiling when she's saying his name.
Suggested that I watch that series because that's a lot of what his cult is like.
Oh, so it's a political cult now. I thought it was a religious cult.
Yes. The Family is very eye-opening. So that is one. There's so many different cults are horrible. Is what true or is what drama? Oh, is The Family true? Yes, it's based on a true story, and it's based on a group in Washington that infiltrated politics. Heaven's Gate cult. So the Heaven's Gate cult was, I don't remember what state they were in. That leader was actually delusional. He had
No, they're tweezers, I think. She's got tweezers in her hand.
Extremely, I would say, delusional beliefs about UFOs and just out there about extraterrestrial activity. It was something else. And then they all killed themselves at his direction, and they were all found deceased. I think it was in California.
Was that David Koresh?
Oh, I wanted to show you something.
Wasn't that David Koresh, Heaven's Gate cult? Oops. Oopsies. Ralph is not happy. All right, see you, Laura. Who upset Ralph?
Maybe this can help you. Give me a second.
That's all right. That's all right. Now better. It's fine. I sometimes forget that I've got him still got Ralph connected. He just automatically connected now.
So I was looking this up, and maybe you guys can understand this, but the APA, which is the American Psychological Association, says that cult.
She has not even clicked on she's taken a screenshot of what the Google search says. She has actually, it's not actually come from the actual website. It's about the snippet. So she's talking, look, cult leaders are usually psychopaths with a desire for power and often take ideas from politics, religion, and philosophy, psychology to fulfill their purpose. Who does that remind you of?
Leaders are usually psychopaths with a desire for power, and they take ideas from politics, religion, and psychology to fulfill their purposes. So this was from an expert that they spoke to, and they use this to get fanatical with their faith and their beliefs. And then a lot of them are also malignant narcissists. So there's different kinds of, but this expert says that most cult leaders are malignant narcissists. They don't care about the damage they're causing. They don't care about the lies they're telling. They don't care about the families they're destroying. They just need it, and they need to be loved, and they need.
She talking about herself. She doesn't care about the damage she's causing. She doesn't care about the lies she's telling. She doesn't care about the family she's destroying. She just needs it. She wants to be loved. She needs to be adored. Wow. Wow. She's talking about herself.
Be adored, and they need to be feared. I think psychopathy is a pretty good way to describe a lot of cult leaders, because psychopaths are
Psychopathies? I don't think even that's a word. Apparently it is. There you go.
care about the damage they're causing. They don't care about the lies they're telling. They don't care about the families they're destroying. They just need it, and they need to be loved, and they need to be adored, and they need to be feared.
It's a neuropsychiatric psychopathy is a neuropsychiatric disorder marked by deficient emotional responses, lack of empathy, lack of behavioral controls, commonly resulting in persistent antisocial deviance and criminal behavior.
I think psychopathy is a pretty good way to.
Oh, Marmaduke said it wasn't the correct pronunciation. Yeah, I think that's what threw me off.
Describe a lot of cult leaders, because psychopaths are reckless and their need for destruction, and they are very destructive in society. They commit crimes. They don't have any empathy towards people. They don't see people as human. It's a means to the end. Yeah, so someone asked me about what's going on with the Duggars. First of all, we're in kind of a lull. I have been trying to move away from the gossip so much about the Duggars.
She's been trying to move away from the Doug. You're joking.
Simply, I do report sometimes about what's going on with them, but if I want to be honest, I've been talking about them so much for the last several months because of his trial. It's nice to kind of have a little tiny bit of a break. And once the sentencing happens, of course, we will talk about the Duggars again. If you go to my YouTube channel, I made multiple videos about the Duggars this week. Some people were asking why I'm not speaking about Jill having COVID. I don't think Jill having COVID is really worthy of a video. I mean, is her posting on her social media that she has COVID worth a video for you guys? She said she was vaccinated but hadn't had the booster yet. I don't know. She's
smiling.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not really tea. Everyone has had, I haven't had, well, maybe.
Didn't she say she had COVID? She forgot what she's. Big Jilly's wearing pants. Hello, Ellie.
She said she was vaccinated but hadn't had the booster yet. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's not really tea. Like everyone has had, like I haven't had, well, maybe I've had COVID like 2 years ago, but like.
She couldn't remember whether she had COVID or not. What does that tell you?
COVID videos are just so, I don't know, everyone gets COVID. Not everyone, but you know what I mean? Like I could videos about people that have had COVID.
Everyone's had COVID. I haven't yet.
I mean, yesterday I did talk about the sister wives. That's not really news. And I've been checking PACER, which is the federal government's system, constantly to figure out if if the judge has yet to file a denial, denying his request for a new trial. So that hasn't been filed yet. And all of the documents about his sentencing are private. So
as they should. Well, we know you'd spill it everywhere. So wouldn't you? She'd spill it. No wonder they kept it private.
I don't have any information about what's in the pre-sentencing report. Yeah, I felt like, yes. So I did a video about something Peyton said, and then at the end, about how Peyton said that he slapped Gwendolyn. I thought that was worthy of a video. But even then I think gets redundant with the same person speaking out. I thought maybe I should bring this up. So Gabe Brown was someone in my comments the other
Okay, get ready. She's gonna.
Day was trying to tie Gabe Brown to white supremacy, which I was like, what? And they said, he came out as a white supremacist. And I'm like, I went to go look at the picture, and it was a picture of him and his girlfriend. And I'm like, I don't know how that has him coming out as a white supremacist. And then he said that his girlfriend was red-pilled. Like, okay, so red-pilled is like it's like a whole weird thing online, but it's not white supremacy. And I kind of defended him in the comments, and I just said, like, that's a huge stretch. Like, I don't think it's fair to call him a white supremacist because he said red-pilled, or that he follows a couple sites that are right-leaning. Because just because someone follows a Republican site doesn't automatically make them a white supremacist.
Is she trying to get in to say that just because Toad read Mein Kampf and gave it 4 stars doesn't mean that he's a white supremacist? Is that where she's going with this?
No, red pill's not a QAnon thing. I mean, it can be, but it's not. That's not where it originated. But either way, he reached out to me to just say, thank you for advocating for a complete and utter stranger. I appreciate you defending me, even though you did not need to. And he said that he is 100,000 million% not a white supremacist and would never, ever be a part of anything filled with such hateful, horrible rhetoric.
Yeah, well, this was today, or this was earlier today for me, so this would have been yesterday for you guys. This is her most recent one.
So, yeah, I think it was extremely, he was very polite. I don't know. You can Google red pill.
Now, Peyton Brown is one of the sister wives' children.
Pilled. So at the end of the day, we are team Christine over here.
Another team.
I don't know. There's a red-pilled woman thing that has to do with like women who are anti-feminists kind of thing. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I have no clue. I didn't dig deep into it. Yes, her new show is very cute. No, it's not a Matrix reference. I think maybe that's originally where it originated from, but it's a completely different, I don't know. Just Google red pilled. I honestly can't remember what it's about, but it's definitely not about white supremacy. It's more of like I don't know. I don't even know.
She doesn't know something, people.
So he's in school and he's just plugging away with his life. No, it's not political because it has some guys online refer to certain things that happen in a relationship as red pilled and blue pilled, and it maybe started with the Matrix, but when it comes to how they feel about women, it's not necessarily about the Matrix. Taking the pill means that you can see the truth. Maybe. Some people that say that they've been pilled are in QAnon too, so there's that. Either way, he's not a white supremacist. I guess that was kind of my point. Hello, Seattle Hot.
I don't know, because he's fragile. I don't know why.
Read about red-pilled women. Just do a search. I don't know if that might help you. Yeah, and if you go to TLC's website, you can watch her cooking show. She did a carrot cake, and then she did a lasagna. It was very interesting. Let's see. A lot of people have been asking me about if there has been any pictures of Robert Shin online, and I can say no.
No, because she would have checked it all out.
We have not. I did find this though. So over 3 days in 2011, I think it was.
I don't know if you can see that. Just so to put this says 31,000. I'm sure that says 31 with 3 zeros, then a dot, and then another 2. So that one says 31,000 there. Then that says 30. It says 31,000, and then it says 33,000 here. All right, so bear that in mind, okay?
Robert, this is part of a court filing. This is in October, I think, of 2011. I don't remember. Wait, 2007. Robert Shin received $320,000 in gifts from.
So she's showing a receipt that shows $33,000, but she's saying that he received $300 and something. You know. So her receipt isn't even backing up what she's saying.
Members of his church in 3 days. And they had all the checks, the canceled checks, and his deposit slips of putting this in his Bank of America account. So he deposited $320,000 in his bank account within a span of 3 days when they were gifts from members.
Now, has she just shown his bank account?
Yes. Let me see if I can. That one was 30. Let's see. Here's another one. Oh, sorry, that's not saving well.
Well, that one says 45.
Like, here's an example.
20, no, what does that say? I can't even see what that says.
Of him receiving a bonus from his old church. Like, so they were paying him bonuses. So this company no longer exists, so don't worry about the bank accounts or whatever. But that is so this is an example of how he was sending money to him. So basically what they were doing is they were taking out promissory notes and they were moving money from the church to Robert. So here is a promissory note that he claims to have made to himself in 2004 from the church to his company. And it's for $1.4 million. Now, this came from his actual donations that he received from the church. The church actually had anyways, this actually is from the Mission 2020.
So there you go.
It's from a court record. And so the funny thing about the promissory note is that he's the CEO and the only registered director at the church, and he's the only CEO and registered agent at the business. So he's taking a loan from himself and setting terms for himself for the loan. Make that make sense. And then
What was that all about?
in 2004 from the church to his company. And it's for $1.4 million.
She's trying to wake everyone up?
From his actual donations that he received from the church. The church actually had anyways, this actually is from the Mission 2020. It's from a court record. And so the funny thing about the promissory note is that he's the CEO and the only registered director at the church, and he's the only CEO and registered agent at the business. So he's taking a loan from himself and setting terms for himself for the loan. Make that make sense. And then he never...
Is everybody awake? Is everybody awakeys?
Paid the promissory note back to the church. And because he was the only one on the church accounts, he was acting as like an agent in an alias between the different companies. So the companies were serving aliases. Now, this is from 2004, but this was going all the way up until 2008.
So she's dug out stuff from 2004 to 2008. So, as I said, I don't know whether there's any truth to what she says, but, you know, you always have to consider the source. And I can't consider her reliable.
So he was acting as an alias for all these different companies, transferring money in between the companies and then getting paid from the companies. Yeah, if someone actually sued the Duggars, maybe we'd see something similar with them.
Correct, short order cook. This is all old news. This is from 2004 to 2008. I don't know about. I don't know what the hand clapping was all about.
Let me just show you, for instance. So here is another example. This is Robert getting paid from Seventh Millennium Realty, where he is not a real estate agent and he's not a broker, right?
Oh, he was paid by real estate agents. Could it have been? Look, I'm going to really just throw something in the wind here. Could it be like rental income? Real estate agents pay landlords, don't they? Real estate income. So she's saying he was paid by a rental. Have a listen.
So he was acting as an alias for all these different companies, transferring money in between the companies, and then getting paid from the companies. Yeah, if someone actually sued the Duggars, maybe we'd see something similar with them. Let me just show you, for instance. So here is another example. This is Robert getting paid from Seventh Millennium Realty, where he is not a real estate agent and he's not a broker.
So apparently you're not allowed to receive money from a real estate agency if you are not an agent or a broker. Right. Okay.
Right? But the company is again in his name, and he is being paid 48 grand of this, and this money is actually not commissions from real estate. This is actually money that was.
And how does she know this?
Sent from the church and then paid to him as a bonus from his sister. That's not the same Robert Shin. That's in 2000. That's from Ohio, and that's not. Robert Shin was not in Ohio in 2011. So I saw that case, Veronica, but that's not him. That guy is from Lima, Ohio. But yeah, this guy you're talking about, this guy, right? Incidentally, there's a guy named Robert Shin who was caught stealing cars.
Look at the smile on her face. She's finding the whole thing amusing.
Selling them online, but it's not Robert Shin. But this is a photo of the Robert Shin that spent time in prison for selling cars online that were stolen. Luxury ones at that. But he is actually from Ohio, in Lima, Ohio, and that is not where Robert Shin lives. So also, ironically or incidentally, Robert Shin.
She's just doxed another Robert Shin.
And is a pretty common name, and Shin is a very common last name for Korean Americans, or it's a huge Korean last name, so it's super common. It's like Johnson or Olsen here. So there's that. Yes, because he was not.
So she's done a research on another guy with the same name so that she can say it's not him. Oops, I'm not going back.
California doing depositions in 2011. So that guy was also, ironically or incidentally, Robert Shin is a pretty common name, and Shin is a very common last name for Korean Americans, or it's a huge Korean last name, so it's super common. It's like Johnson or Olsen.
Wouldn't it be interesting if she got the wrong guy?
So there's that. Yes, because he was not in Ohio. Robert was in California doing depositions in 2011.
Oh, you know all about depositions, don't you, KJ? Don't you have one coming up? She's got one coming up, doesn't she? Or she had a deposition. How can she find this funny?
So that guy was going to jail in 2011 in Ohio, and Robert was sitting for depositions in LA. So yes, it is definitely not the same person. Oh, yes. So Gabby Petito's family filed a lawsuit. I actually pulled this up. I actually have this lawsuit right here. It's on my computer. Let me just read it to you. They are suing Christopher and Roberta Laundrie for negligence.
Now, listen to this, all right? We're going to get, oh, for negligence. Okay, well, interesting.
Now, I don't know about whether or not this will actually go far in law because...
Now, listen to her reasoning. I love her reasoning in this because there's no there's no actual real legal reasoning for her to say this. And in my opinion, she shows how little she does know.
I just don't. They technically, under the law, they were not required to speak to anyone about what they knew, but they are being sued. So that's the good news, and it's for over $100,000. What I think is interesting, though, is that it gives details about the situation that we did not know already. So it says that it is believed that on August 27th, Brian Laundrie murdered Gabby Petito. The cause of death was blunt force injuries to the head and neck with manual strangulation. It says that she was 22 years of age at the time of her death, and Brian murdered Gabby. Then he sent text messages back and forth between his cell phone and Gabby's in an effort to hide the fact that she was deceased. Then it says that on August 27th, it's believed that he sent a text message to Nicole referring to Gabby's grandfather, Stan. And it's also believed that on August 28th, now this is the damning part.
All right, here we go. This is it. Yeah, as I said, I'm interested to hear what the real lawyers say. Not this one.
Even if, yes, the burden of proof is much lower in civil cases for sure, but they have to have cause. So I don't know anything about these types of cause. And for a lawsuit, this is, if I'm being honest, very short. Only 6 pages.
Apparently, it's not going to get up because it's only 6 pages. Okay, so there's our first reasoning.
And there's no monetary amount listed.
She did. They did list $100,000, wasn't it? But she said that.
I don't know. I've never seen a lawsuit that's only 6 pages. And I don't know if it's like, I agree that the Laundries are horrible people.
That's not what the lawsuit says.
Horrible humans. I just don't know. I was surprised that the lawsuit ended without like the cause. So usually they'll say like what the actual charge is, or
there is no charge in a civil suit.
The count.
There is no count in a civil suit. You can't have a count. You can't have a. You can't have a charge. They're allegations. They say. There's no charges in a civil suit.
Fraudulent something, and then they'll explain what the Laundries actually did to
negligence. They're suing for negligence.
Verify that specific claim. And then they'll go to count 2, and it could be negligence, and then they'll explain like what they did that was negligent. And then count 3 would be like emotional distress, and then they would explain like how they suffered emotional.
The other thing is sometimes you put documentation in to get it in, and you put all the details in later. Anyway.
Emotional distress, but this lawsuit doesn't have the different counts split up.
You don't need the different. There's no counts. There's no charges. It's a civil lawsuit. I would have thought you would known by now. You've had enough.
It's the cover page lists it as negligence, but I've never seen a docket look like this before. So,
well, because she's never seen it look like that before, it must be wrong.
I don't know if it's just different in Florida or not. So, anyways, it says that this is the part that I think is weird. Is it says that it's believed that on August 28th, 2021, Brian's advised his parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, that he had murdered Gabby. On the same date, Christopher and Roberta spoke with Stephen Bertolino, the attorney, and sent him a retainer on September 2nd, 2001. It could be to get them deposed. I mean, that's true too. And it says that on August 30th, he sent a text message from her phone to Nicole stating that there was no service in Yosemite. On the 1st, he arrives home and he's driving her van. At that point in time, there is no contact with the Petitos and the Laundries on between the 27th of August to September 19th when they found her remains. Obviously were horrible for the Petitos and for Nicole Schmidt and her husband. And they say that Roberta blocked them, blocked their accounts on Facebook, and would not respond at all to what was going on with Gabby. And they said that they put out a statement claiming that they hoped that Gabby would be found alive and reunited with her family. And they say that that statement was actually false because they claim that Gabby was already dead. And they knew that Gabby was dead. So I don't know, again, if that is true. They didn't provide any exhibits, but you don't have to provide exhibits for your complaint. That comes later as
it's a complaint. Yes, you've just answered your own question.
The part of discovery. So it's for over 100,000.
She just done it again. She said it's over 100,000, but then it said there was no monetary thing.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. So I was going to do videos over on YouTube, and then I was like, well, screw that. It's like 5 o'clock, and if I upload it now on YouTube, nobody watches on Fridays. It's like the slowest day for me. Content just doesn't move on Fridays. And certainly on a Friday night. Posting on a Friday night does nothing.
Yeah, no, the money's changed.
If they have information, they legally have a right to actually remain silent. So they don't, under the law, have to speak to anyone. Even if they know, there's no obligation under the law, and they exercise their Fifth Amendment right not to speak. Oh, you watch on Fridays? If you haven't watched my video about the reunion with Miranda, you can watch that. I put up like 6 video. I am your TV every night. Yes, I will save this so you can watch it. I'm actually gonna go eat. I'm hungry. So it's time to eat. You watch on Fridays too? You watch every day? All I know is when I post on Fridays, the numbers aren't great. It's my slowest day. So that means this week I missed Monday and Friday. But next week I'll be back to normal, I hope. We're going to still continue our yeah, but anyways, Kelly's note was so hard, and I'm sorry that you had a hard time reading it. She posted this on a pink background, and there's no drama. We still support the Wilkins.
That's right, Elia. Emily D. Baker's on a Friday night. That's right. See, that's why I don't know why she's not on her YouTube channel doing this.
Our teachers are not on strike. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, there's no drama. They are being more silent, and we're respecting that because they're going through trauma right now. This has been more of like a passion project to help get these people, like, I think what bothers me, there's a few things that bother me about what's happening with the Shins. More than anything is it's just the way that they're manipulating the public in such a huge way. You know, it's just such a, like, there's likely crimes being committed before our eyes under the guise of influencing, and that's not right. It could be Minneapolis schools that are going on strike. I don't know. We are not on strike where that's not, I mean, there's lots of districts here. But if there was a teacher strike in Minnesota, I probably wouldn't talk about it because, again, I don't talk about my son.
That's right. She's saying, oh, it's not on YouTube because the videos on this topic aren't getting enough views, but she's getting them on. That's right. You're correct there. And Instagram's paying more. So she just said that even if her teachers were on strike, she wouldn't talk about it because she doesn't talk about her son.
People, like, I think what bothers me, there's a few things that bother me about what's happening with the Shins more than anything is it's just the way that they're manipulating the public in such a huge way. You know, it's just such a, like, there's likely crimes being committed before our eyes under the guise of influencing, and that's not right. It could be Minneapolis schools that are going on strike. I don't know. We are not on strike where that's not, I mean, there's lots of districts here. But if there was a teacher strike in Minnesota, I probably wouldn't talk about it because, again, I don't talk about my son. And it's not, I mean, it's horrible if they have to go on strike. They should get paid and stuff. But ultimately, my channel is not talking about teachers. Yes, it's very brazen.
She doesn't talk about teachers.
And I actually am confused why I would talk about Minneapolis teachers on my channel. Okay.
Maybe because they should get paid more and you're supporting a cause.
Unless you are trying to publicly identify where I'm at, which is silly.
Because you've told everyone where you are. Likely crimes being committed, so she's guessing they're criminals. Well, that's right. I mean, what did it's a defamation per se, alleging that somebody is defamation per se. I think it's called. In my opinion, she's walking a fine line. Is one cheek thicker than the other too, by the way? Or is it just the camera angle?
everyone knows that's where I am. Okay. So
oh, it's a smirk? Okay.
I'm going to remove them from this live. Yes, they all have the same content. I don't know. There's like an actual place where you can report the real estate stuff. Some of you have asked about if he was a doctor. Here is his medical license.
No.
It was in 1992, he received his license to be a medical doctor. He actually either canceled it himself or it elapsed on its own.
Did she just put... That's not his address that she's just put there, is it? Gee, she is digging up.
So he got rid of that. Some of you guys have asked about the 501(c) status. Unfortunately, the church has this, but they do not file anything with the IRS, and they're not required to. So, whereas other nonprofits are required to file with the IRS, churches are not, and therefore they are a great way to get free money, because if you want to get rich, they say start a church if you're a con man, right? So there are...
No way. She just did a legend. Oh, I hope his lawyer's watching. That's all I can say. I wonder whether Todd Chrisley's going to get in contact with them. As I said, I think it's defamation per se, because she's alleging they're criminals.
no actual, there's no data that I can pull to see how they're spending the money other than what was in the lawsuits. And Robert Shin is, he divorced his first wife. I don't even know if Esther was his first wife, but he divorced Esther and he divorced Shirley. And I actually don't even know if
Nice of you to throw all the ex-wives, all the wives' names there. I'm sure they'd love to know that. Like that is just...
I don't know if they have a... Okay, and then, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It would be pretty bad if she got the wrong guy. You're correct.
So I did not find any evidence that he's actually ordained, and that was a part of his deposition back in 2011. There is no evidence, even back then, that he was ordained for anything. That means that if he doesn't have a minister's license in the state of California, he can't actually do weddings. If he doesn't want to do weddings...
Don't you just have to be a celebrant? I know in Australia you don't have to be a minister to do, you have to do a celebrant's course. Correct?
Technically, you don't have to be ordained. And if he's his own church, then he doesn't have to go through an ordainment. I mean, that's just like he started a church and decided it was his belief system. That's as big as it answers. Yeah. Yeah, so he's definitely not a real pastor. He was a doctor before, and within a year of becoming moving to California, he's like going to become a famous pastor. Would I explain my role? I am a reporter that covers cults.
That's her role.
The majority of everything I do on Instagram is not paid because I don't have like ads. And I've just been promoting and helping as much as I can, as much as anyone else that works in the media.
Yep. She's just helping as much as she can, like anyone else that works in media.
So I do investigative reporting on religious abuse.
There you go. She's an investigative reporter. There you go. You've heard it here. She's just let's repeat that again.
Anything. That means that if he doesn't have a minister's, would I explain my role? I am a reporter that covers cults. The majority of everything I do on Instagram is not paid because I don't have like ads. And I've just been promoting and helping as much as I can, as much as anyone else that works in the media. So I do investigative reporting on religious abuse.
There you go. She's an investigative reporter on religious abuse.
No, I don't think he can legally marry people. But again, I don't know. We're still working on that.
Well, find out before you open your mouth.
I did find his medical license in Ontario. He graduated in 84 and he had his first license. I think he got licensed in 86. And he had his own practice, I think, and then he moved to LA. The church is registered with the IRS. I just showed you what that looks like, and churches are not required to file anything with the IRS. Who is we? Because my team is working behind the scenes because it's a part of a production company.
Part of a production company.
So we'll be going to a wider audience.
Oh, can they? They can just get anyone can marry anyone here with a one-day license. Okay. There you go. Here you have to be either a celebrant within a religious, through a church. And when you leave that church, you're no longer eligible to do weddings unless you're a civil celebrant, which is a course you actually have to do.
Church tax exemption, exactly. Go to my channel and watch my first video. Go through my posts. That's about all I can offer you for that. I'm going to go. Okay, now Ashley is just trolling. She's just trolling. She's trying to confirm if I'm doing things. She wants to know if I'm getting paid. Now she's talking about my haters. Oh, my haters are so obvious. They try to pretend like they're like being so nice when they're not. Okay. Twitch is not involved. I am and Super Scooper. That's hilarious. Yes, everyone who has an online platform has haters. That's part of having a platform. I have far more support than I do haters. The haters are just the loudest, but that doesn't matter to me. Anyways, I think, yeah, who knows? They always want to say that I'm doing it for likes or views, which I always think is funny because it's like, isn't that what you're putting out on your social media is actually for likes and views? Like, if I wanted more likes and views, I probably would do something more exciting than what I do. Anyways, I'm more just concerned about this situation getting taken care of and getting these people that are doing these things held accountable.
Now, here's the thing. What if she says these people have done all these crimes, and when they go to the police, they go, "There's nothing here."
But you know what they say? Haters make you famous. Not a single hater has ever prevented me from actually doing my job. All right, you guys, I'll be back. Bye.
There you go. You know what? She wants to be famous. When will I be famous? When will I get my picture in the paper? Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna go before I really lose it. It's getting late. I got another big day tomorrow. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Bella, for coming on the stream tonight and saying hello. It's amazing that we've crossed paths and that I was able to influence you. You just never know when you meet people again. Short order cook, I don't know what her end goal is either. Now, I was reading something today that apparently the girl's mother was not very happy because the sisters were doing social media together or something, and she's walked away. She got, whatever. So from what I can see, it's that the daughter's not doing what the parents wanted her to do. So anyway, I don't know. It looks like it's a family spat that's gone public. And to me, if it's a family spat, then, you've got to let it go. I don't know what the end goal is with this. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me. And I'll catch you all again next time. Bye for now.